Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And on today's Going In Raw news brief, Paige is learning about unions, Jazz may have wrestled her last match, and Fox may have revealed the identity of the Smackdown hacker. But first, are Otis's days as Mr. Money in the Bank numbered? Larson, what's in the news?
You know, basically ever since Otis won that Money in the Bank briefcase in somewhat surprising, almost accidental fashion.
Yeah!
We've been wondering, A, why? B, what are they going to do with him as Mr. Money in the Bank? Now that Roman Reigns is champ over on Smackdown, a successful cash-in by Otis seems way outside the realm of possibility. So it seemed like SmackDown was going to do some sort of story involving Miz and Morrison trying to get that briefcase off Otis. But after Otis's match against John Morrison on SmackDown this past Friday, where he destroyed Morrison, it seems like maybe, no confirmation, but maybe they're just going to not do that. They'll have the segment next week with Otis, or this week with Otis in the court, where he's defending himself and he impresses the judge, lawsuit dismissed. They'll shake things up with the draft with either Miz and or Morrison going to Raw. So that leaves us back kind of at square one with Otis. What are they going to do with Otis as Mr. Money in the Bank? Today, Russell Vogt provided maybe a bit of insight into what WWE may have lined up for Otis and that briefcase. This is what Russell Vogt had to say, quote, "There have been multiple pitched ideas to remove the Money in the Bank briefcase from Otis and make the storyline a main focus again, some of which are really decent ideas, I've been told. However, and this is a big however, Otis's biggest fan is Vince, so right now, no go."
Well, if Vince is such a big fan of Otis, why hasn't he tried to make him like a legit contender, which is what you need for Money in the Bank? This has been 4 months now that we've been saying, at the outset, we said, okay, I had an open mind about it. Let's see what steps we can take. And it would be a very difficult journey to get there because Otis is firmly a comedy guy. Yes, they book him really strong, as we saw this past Friday on SmackDown. But what you got 8 months left. I know that's a long time, but it goes by pretty quick.
Yeah, they've already gone through 5 months. And
on top of that, you have to WWE's credit, you have two top champions that are dominant figures, and waiting in the wings are potential opponents that are also dominant. Who knows what's going to happen after the draft with the Universal Championship, but right now over on Raw, Randy Orton, I don't think it's going to happen, but he could easily legitimately win that title off Drew at Hell in a Cell. You have The Fiend, although he sort of moved away from that scene. Any number of people can move over to SmackDown perhaps to present a big opportunity for Roman's Universal Championship.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna drop that title for a very long time. It seems pretty set in stone. But that being said, that's sort of my point, is that you've got two really strong champions right now. Otis in my mind can't even compete. Well, okay, he could conceivably take the IC title off of Sammy because Sammy is booked. He's booked strong, but also a bit on the cowardly side, a bit on the cheater side. Lashley is a dominant U.S. champion. So even if you go down to the mid-card, Otis is outclassed. I don't know.
Yeah, there's really no conceivable way in the near future, at least, where Otis can cash in on really any of the champions outside of maybe tag champs, where it seemed believable and legit. Just because if this had happened next year, if they gave Otis a good kind of singles run over the course of the year, next year put the briefcase on him, and by that point we're further into the Roman story. Maybe at this point he's already turned face. I don't know. Move Otis to Raw, things would be different there. It just seemed like a thing where Vince became fascinated by Otis and the potential maybe of Otis and says, well, we got to put the briefcase on him now, rather than waiting, developing him as something more than a comedy wrestler, something more than a tag team wrestler, and then him carrying that briefcase seems like more of a threat, because right now there is zero threat.
Why isn't Vince obsessed or a huge fan of Big E?
Andrade?
You know? I mean,
Big E, Aleister Black,
look, dude, no,
Ricochet.
There are tons of other people. Why isn't Otis? Look, Vince obviously is a big fan of R-Truth. You know, he's let R-Truth carry a lot of stuff. He's never in like the upper scene, but he puts him out there with Brock sometimes, and they have a good time. R-Truth is terrific. Why can't Otis be in the 24/7 title scene? You know, like, why can't you say, oh, I'm a big fan of you here, be a featured part of the 24/7 scene?
Yeah.
Mr. Money in the Bank needs to be like a legit, you know, if it's a heel, he should be a manipulator, an opportunist like Edge, the best Money in the Bank guy.
Or if it's a face, do what Mr. Kennedy did. Say, I want my WrestleMania main event. I'm cashing in then.
Yeah.
Then there's a story to be told. But if Otis said the day after Money in the Bank, I want to cash it at WrestleMania.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's like, okay, you have about a year to build them. But man, that's a ways to go. But if you had waited a year before putting that briefcase on him, then went through with this, then circumstances might be different. He might fare much better.
Even in that, so dude, you're being wildly optimistic about Otis's chances of being legitimate at any time.
Oh yeah.
Like you can have the guy win, but nobody's gonna care. They just want to see him do Chris Farley stuff.
I know.
You know, that's why they're doing what they're doing with Big E. It's because they want to make him more legitimate, so they have him go through a lot of violent stuff. And you know, so by virtue of the story, he's got to tone down the silliness because, hey, I'm angry. This guy Sheamus just put me through a windshield. Mm-hmm. So, like, there are ways to do it, and they haven't done any of it.
Instead, they have Otis defending himself in the court of law.
Which, look, I'm going to enjoy this segment. I think it's probably going to be hilarious. Otis is funny to me. I think he's great. I'm a fan of Otis, but I also recognize that that's not the guy you put Money in the Bank on, unless you see demonstrably him start acting more like an actual person, make him relatable. And on top of that, you give them a bunch of wins, which, I mean, they're doing the wins thing.
They're giving them wins, yeah.
That's sort of even been, you know, spotty, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, honestly, I think that they had the absolute perfect opportunity and story. The Otis, Mandy, Sonya Deville stuff was hot. At their blow-off match, I understand that, you know, life got in the way, but it didn't seem like that was going to be the case anyways. But you have Otis save Mandy's job by putting the briefcase. He gives up the briefcase to Sonya Deville.
Yep.
She, you know, backs out of the stipulation. And then at that case, you know, if Sonya Deville had to go away or whatever, you know, you have her vacate and you do a tournament for her. You put her back on somebody who's legitimate. Sonya Deville really could have been a terrific, like, if you cross genders, gender divisions and put it on Sonya Deville, my God, like, she would have run with it. There's all sorts of opportunities to do this.
I know.
But I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see when, you know, it sucks because it's always fun to have. That was a fun thing about Brock having it. Is that there was always that looming, terrifying threat of Brock Lesnar waiting in the wings. You do not feel that with Otis at all. He's never even threat. There was one time when he joked about cashing in with like Braun.
Yeah, it was Braun, and I was like,
right? That would have been that would have been horrific as well. Anyways, talking about horrific, WWE's continual nickel and diming of their wrestlers might lead to a union, and Paige might be the one leading the charge. One of the most vocal talents speaking out about WWE trying to crack down on talent's use of third-party platforms has been Paige. And with a single tweet yesterday, she may have taken the next step in pushing back against Vince's overreach when it comes to dictating what independent contractors under his employ can and can't do. Of course, Paige, as you guys know, has a massively popular Twitch page where she has I think Chris Danker did some very basic math on this. And even if all the subs that she has are tier 1 subs on Twitch, she's making $50,000 a month. That's not even counting bits, ads, donations, additional tiered subs, which no doubt she's getting probably significant about that. Yeah. At least, bare floor, the minimum, $50,000 a month.
That's crazy.
Right? So of course she's gonna say, no, you're not gonna reach into my pocketbook.
Yeah.
So she tweeted this out. Learned a lot about unionism today. Whoa. So we'll see.
It's promising.
It's
promising that you know, I don't know exactly how she's necessarily educating herself about unionism, unionization. It's good that she's doing it, and it's good she's saying that she's doing it, because then hopefully to put the thoughts in people's head that it's a possibility, and then also something that WB will be. I'm sure they're aware of it. You know, hopefully it's just okay. She's learned about this. Maybe she's talking to other people. It seemed like, you know, potentially some of her and her fellow Twitchers, I'm sure, are having some conversations, I would guess.
Well, I also noticed this. We've referenced a Twitter user, SoDude, on our show before. And on his Twitter feed, he tweets a lot. So I'm trying to scroll through it to see exactly who it was that she's actually following. But he pointed out that Paige is now following like an entertainment lawyer, or like a union, like a labor entertainment lawyer, or something like that, on her in her Twitter follows. Oh, here we go. It says here she is following Lucas Middlebrook, labor attorney with focus on labor and sports law, representing airline and professional sports-related labor groups, including professional fighters. That was as of yesterday. So, cool. You know, you could put two and two together. She's talking to some people who know what they're talking about. Yeah. And then Zelina Vega responded with like a thinking emoji. Yeah. To Paige's tweet here.
Yeah. I hope he gets the ball rolling on all this. You know, the wrestlers need to, you know, unionize in some respect, or even just the threat of it to motivate some change within WB, because something has to happen. Yep. Something has to happen. Because the way that the talents are being, you know, treated with respect to the third party stuff is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's terrible. I have no segue here, so we're just going to talk about
that was ridiculously awesome. The shocking reveal of Mustafa Ali as leader of Retribution last night, and the official Twitter account of WWE on Fox, which is of course called WWE on Fox, tweeted a still of Ali commanding Retribution to attack the Hurt Business with the caption, this is a quote, Mustafa Ali with the Retribution hack. Oh. Hashtag WB Raw. So the WWE on Fox's Twitter account, WWE on Fox, just confirm Ali a SmackDown hacker, yay or nay?
Nay. Although that'd be awesome if it was the case. This is WWE on Fox. I don't know if they are actually a WWE account or a Fox account.
I thought because like when this account launched about a year ago with SmackDown going to Fox, like their Twitter game was pretty strong, and I thought I heard it was at the time. Thought I heard that used to be one of the, like, somebody used to work for NXT Social or something like that, wasn't manning it.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
I thought I could have made that up. It was a year ago, and in this old brain of mine, that's an eternity. As far as retaining knowledge, I thought there was at least some WWE connection as far as who was managing that account. Like, well,
I don't know. I mean, in terms of like who actually owns it, I imagine whoever does it. Yeah. Okay. Was this the same account that tweeted out the thing about the draft and who should get first pick?
No, that was WWE itself.
It was actually WWE's. Okay. Yeah, like you said, this account.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt this to clarify. The bio for this account says the official Fox Sports Twitter account for all things WWE. So it is a Fox Sports account. Okay, cool.
Whoever was initially running this, as you said, very savvy with social media, very savvy with WWE and what fans enjoy seeing. And so, yeah, I would imagine this was just throwing all the great fan theories out there about the SmackDown hacker, you know, being Mustafa Ali and then going on to lead Retribution.
I will say this, though. If punctuation is any clue, it's Mustafa Ali with the Retribution hack. So it's an exclamation mark or point, not a question mark.
Yeah.
Now, if it was a question mark, I'd say for sure they're just feeding the potential fan theory. But they're excited about this. This seems declarative, definitive. He's a SmackDown hacker, and they just told us that. Steve.
Get out of here! Maybe in storyline, this is Mustafa Ali tweeting they hacked the WWE on Fox account, and Mustafa Ali is tweeting this out. So hey, look, man, there's so much great speculation about all this. Again, WWE stumbling their way into a potential long-term angle, into a retroactively long-term angle.
Yeah.
They really should run with it. And I really do hope that Mustafa Ali, being as ambitious as he is, as we've seen in the past, dude, this guy could whip together a video promo that's 2 minutes long that ties it all together, that would have people marking out. Will they let him do it? I hope so.
I hope so. Odds are no, though. No, it's not going to happen, probably.
We'll find out. What we also have found out is that legendary wrestler Jazz seems to have retired. In an interview with Chris Van Vliet, Jazz announced that she has wrestled her last match. Well, potentially. She said this, and these transcripts come to you from WrestlingNews.co. It says, honestly, I just had my last match this past Sunday. I am done in the ring. I was going to do, wrestlers always push a little bit, though. I was going to do a whole tour in 2020, but with pandemic happening, that screwed everything up. I've been having issues with my knees and my back and a lot more issues physically, mentally, and emotionally. That's why I had to forfeit the NWA title. I have 2 beautiful daughters that I have to focus on them right now. However, okay, so this transcript comes to you from divadirt.com. Okay. She said, according to this, it says, I was going to do a whole tour in 2020, but with the pandemic happening, that screwed everything up. We'll see for 2021. We may do a little tour. So there's the caveat there.
There you go.
You know, if she has plenty of time off, the knees start feeling better. The independent scene starts blowing up again because everybody's going to be so anxious to go back to these shows en masse. Hopefully, you know, more people will be able to see a little retirement tour as she's, speculating may happen here. Yeah. But if not, man, hell of a legacy.
Stellar career. Stellar career.
Absolutely stellar career for sure.
Yeah, she was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. She did, according to this Diva Dirt thing, it says part of the interview also, it says Jazz adds that she went into her last match knowing that it would be her last. She adds that in the future she may do some short work, such as a few spots, but she won't be doing full matches anymore. So, she says she doesn't want to Terry Funk it, which, is just endless retirement match after retirement match after retirement match. She's earned a restful retirement. But wrestlers, man, they love to wrestle. Mm-hmm. So maybe we'll see one final match. Maybe if the NWA came to her and said, "Hey, do you want a big time, send off on pay-per-view, one of the NWA pay-per-views?" Yeah. Maybe she won't say no there. Who knows?
It's a possibility. It's a possibility.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So anyways, that does it for us for now. At 2 p.m. Pacific time, we will be going live for Friendo Club TV members. You can get Friendo Club TV access via a Twitch sub, via YouTube channel membership, or $5 on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. We're going to be power ranking 5 potential new NXT champions if we find out that Finn Balor's jaw injury will lead him to vacate the title. We got some out-of-the-box suggestions. So if you are a Friendo Club TV member, please keep an eye out for your notifications. We'll be going live at 2 p.m. Pacific. So thanks so much for watching. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Be a part of the best pro wrestling podcast today at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Enjoy tons of bonus videos, including patron-only live shows, gameplay, and vintage 10 for the wins, access to podcast question threads, the Friendo Care Package, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today at patreon.com/Steve and Larson.